Alright guys, so today on Music Stuff, I think we got our biggest video yet. We have 7 instruments here. Count them. 7. Probably can't count them, they're everywhere. So the company that sent us these instruments is called Sala Muzik. Now if you don't know what that is, I don't blame you, I didn't know either for a while. But they're a music company based in Turkey, which is crazy that they sent these all the way here to the US. But they specialize in Turkish, Arabic, Persian instruments such as ouds, sazes, kumbasses, darba. I'm not saying that right. Darbakas, you know, the little drum things. They got those. They got tons of stuff. But big thanks to them for sending 7 instruments, and let's make a video for them. Alright, so this first batch of instruments, just a disclaimer, I can't play them. I've tried for hours and hours, but since I play a different wind instrument, my embouchure is messed up to the point where I can't really play these. But I know there's a lot of people out there who can, so that doesn't take away from the build quality. But what these instruments are Persian nays. And we got 3 of them. We have the 6-hole Persian nay, the 5-hole, and finally the 6-hole with an extra mouthpiece thing. So the Persian nay originated hundreds of years ago in Persia, obviously. They're usually played by street performers, street musicians. They're not usually played in big ensembles or concert halls. But there's a lot of, I don't think that's like the snake charming kind of thing, but you know, like street bands, stuff like that over there. So let's check these things out. So let's start off with the 5-hole. They appear to be made of some kind of reed or cane bamboo. This one has sort of a lacquer on it, while these don't. And then the string or fiber that they use to wrap it together right here, and the mouthpiece as well, seems to be wrapped in kind of like a lacquered tape kind of thing. And as I said, this one is the 5-hole. And then over here with these two, they don't have lacquer on them, but they are significantly longer, which I'm guessing has to do with 6 holes, more pitches. And at the bottom, all of them have a different metal piece at the end that helps the resonance. And then, as I said before, this one has an extra mouthpiece up top. And these instruments are played by putting them like under your teeth and hissing. But I can't do that. The really only sound I can make on this is and I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's not how you play them. But these are all handmade. Everything by Sala Muzik is handmade by professional makers. Each instrument has its own different maker. I believe these were all made by the same guy. The sazes were made by the same guy. But the build quality is really astonishing for the price. These go for around $50 to $100. So if you're looking for one of these, go check out Sala Muzik and get a Persian nay. Alright, so this next instrument is super cool. It is a kumbas ukulele. So a kumbas is a sort of Persian banjo. And like banjos, as we have here, we have banjoleles, which is a banjo mixed with a ukulele. And this is the same kind of thing. This is a kumbas ukulele. So a traditional kumbas has a lot more strings. I think it has like 8. The length is a lot longer, but this is just condensed into a ukulele form. Like a banjo, it has a skin head. But something really cool about this, it has like a tin body, and then there's adjustments you can make to the neck for a tighter sound. The bridge is pretty high up on this, as it is with a regular kumbas. The neck is not made out of wood, I don't believe. It's made out of some kind of plastic or another material. The headstock I really like. It's like a classical guitar. And then just traditional tuners, plastic heads. But let's tune this up and see what it sounds like. So the strings on this instrument aren't like a guitar or anything like that. It's just like a regular ukulele, a plasticky kind of sound. So here's a chord. Now, on this particular instrument, the chords don't sound great. The individual strings played sound much better. Some chords sound alright. Like C, that one's okay. But when you play a lot of them, like a G chord or a D, they get a little muffled. And I think that's just something with their bridge that I'll have to adjust. That's not a big deal. but individually they sound pretty good. I kind of like the punch it has with the skin head. I think that has part of the reason to do with the spring bolts that are inserted along the side. That's a cool little instrument. These instruments, well, the kumbis is usually played in an ensemble, Turkish ensembles. They don't have the Turkish ukuleles in ensembles, but you know, it's just something fun to noodle around on. Alright, these next few instruments are called sazes, or sazes, I don't know. But they're kind of like a Turkish guitar, which I guess usually is a oud, but I relate this most to a guitar. And these instruments usually have 7 strings. Unfortunately, the tension was so high when I was tuning this that 5 of them broke off. But I think they knew the tension was that high, so they sent me an extra pair of strings. So that was really nice. The tuning on this, it's kind of like a mandolin where the strings are doubled up in octaves. So usually it's G, D, E, I believe. But for the sazes I got, I've been using different tunings just to experiment. The build quality on these are really nice. Again, it's lacquered. On this particular bowl of this instrument, it seems they combined 2 woods. I believe the darker is mahogany and the other one is spruce. The face of the instrument is spruce and the neck is spruce, I believe, as are the tuning pegs. The frets, if you can call them that, really it feels more like a fretless instrument, or use some kind of twine, something like that have also been lacquered. And then the strings, just standard steel. The nut and the saddle are bone. And then something cool about this is how most guitars have the sound hole right here on the middle. A saz has it down here on the bottom. Whoops! But in this particular one is a long neck baglama saz, and the other one is a short scale baglama. So let's get into playing these. So something really interesting about the saz is over in Turkey and the Middle East, they use microtones. So the frets are standard like a guitar, but they're just adding another fret. So instead of the regular guitar, we're going to get we got some microtones in there. And additionally, the picks over there are very different. They're a lot thinner and a lot longer. You hold them in between your pointer and middle finger, and then kind of use the thumb thing. I can't do that well yet, so I'm going to use a guitar pick, because whenever I get an instrument, I relay it back to bass and guitar. So all you saz players out there, don't get mad at me for using something else. And then bending and sliding on this neck is super easy because the fretboard is really lacquered down, so there's no tension coming in between my fingers when I slide or when I bend. But since this thing doesn't have all the strings on it, we're going to go to a short scale. Alright, so let's get into the short scale. 1 string has come off on this one, only 1. And then for this, I've used a weird tuning. The bottom strings are tuned to a B octave. The second 2 are tuned to the same E. And then this top one is a B and an E. But it's not tuned right now, so let's tune this thing up and play some music. Another thing about this saz is the bowl on this one is just pure mahogany. It's not like the other one with the design. But this one looks too. I think it looks a lot more furnished. And then as I said, this one's shorter scale, less frets, but that's alright. And again, through the tuning, it's an octave B, double E, and then a B and an E. So when you play them together, so that way when you change frets, you get that cool kind of sitar, twangy vibe. And I think sliding is probably even easier on this because there's less surface to go across. problem with a lot of string instruments is as you're going up the neck, the higher notes don't sound in tune. And with this instrument, I haven't encountered that. So all the way to that top fret, they're staying in tune. And I know a lot of things like guitars, that's especially a big problem for guitar players. And then the action on this, it's pretty low. I doubt you can see it. But it's pretty low, which I can't imagine playing this instrument with high action. And part of the reason that the action is so low is because of the bridge right here. You can barely see it, but it's probably the smallest bridge on an instrument that I have. But that is the Turkish baglama saz. Alright, so that's going to do it for this video. Big, huge thanks to Sala Muzik. They spent a lot of time and effort preparing these instruments for us, getting them to us, and I really appreciate that. These are a lot of instruments, they're all really great. The price range, these are 50 to 100. This one's about 100. The sazes can range from anywhere to 150 to thousands of dollars. But these, I believe this one is around 180 and this one's around 270, and both are fantastic instruments to add, even if you're just starting out on saz, or if you're a professional saz player and you just need something new to play on, go check these out. Once again, thank you, Sala Muzik, and remember to like and subscribe, or I'll take your instrument and review it poorly.